boys and girls. This week, I'm sure you've realized that we are learning a lot about looking after our world, about recycling and not letting any of our rubbish get to the ocean where it can damage the beautiful ocean or marine life. Now, attached to this activity, I have put quite a few different kinds of sea animals or sea creatures. They are just ideas, and you are welcome to look at those and to use one of those pictures to help you to draw today. Otherwise, you might also have some books about the sea or the ocean. I've just got a few of my children's old books from when they were little, and you're allowed to use those pictures too. Now, you need some newspaper, just normal newspaper like this. If you don't have a newspaper, you could also use a page from an old magazine. Just check that it's not one of Mom or Dad's special magazines. And you could use a page that's got a lot of writing on it. Mrs. Mortimer just cut a piece of newspaper about this big. Now, your first job today is on this piece of newspaper. You are going to draw your favorite sea creature, any animal that lives in the ocean or the sea. Now, Mrs. Mortimer had a good look through these books, and the one that I would like to draw today is a turtle. Now here you can see a turtle swimming along on this page. Now I am going to use just a black Koki to draw this turtle. You can use a pencil first if you'd like to. I'm going to use this so that you can see. Now it seems a bit strange because usually when we draw on a blank piece of paper so that we can paint it or color it in. But today we're going to use the effect of the newspaper. So you're actually going to draw your picture on the newspaper, and we're not going to paint it or color it in. We're going to use the effect that the newspaper gives to our picture. So we're just doing the outline. Now, before you start, let me put the lid back on. I'm going to show you on this picture. So I need you to look at the shape. Now, you might have chosen a shark or a hammerhead shark or a dolphin or a seahorse or a fish or a turtle or a stingray or an octopus, any creature that you want to. The first thing you need to do before you draw it is look at the shapes that you can see on it. It's going to have a body. Is the body round or is the body a long, narrow or thin shape? What does the animal's face look like? Where are the eyes? Where is the mouth? How does it swim? Does it have flippers? Does it have tentacles like an octopus? How does your animal look? And have a good look at it. Look at the shapes you might need. I can see on this turtle, it almost looks like it's got ovals that go into triangles to make its flippers. And then it's got an oval, roundish head, another ovalish shape on the other flipper, some little ovals for the back flippers, and then a big round shape, but it's not a complete circle that makes up the turtle's shell. Right, I think I'm ready to start. Oh, and its eyes, I can see, are just on the side of its face. Now, I want to use up most of this paper. I'm going to start with his shell, nice and big, but I do need to make sure that I've got enough space to fit in his head and to fit in his flippers. Otherwise, how is he going to swim? There we go. So I think that's my shell. Then I can see on my turtle's shell, it's got some shapes that make up his shell. It's almost like little patterns that God gave him when he created this beautiful turtle. And so I'm making his designs on his shell. Now you might have fins, or you might have gills, those breathing slits that fish and sharks have. If it's an octopus, they have those bumpy patterns on them. If you're drawing a seahorse, they also have quite a few bumpy patterns on them. Right, then his head, which comes out about here, and it's got quite an oval shape and a bit of a point at the end. And then it comes in, and I see he's got an eye over there. and one on this side, which you don't see as much because of the angle that he's swimming at. He's also got some beautiful patterns on his head. And did you know, children, that although this is a sea creature, it's actually a reptile? There we go. And then I'm going to do his flippers. One going to that side, and it joins on under his shell. And then one on this side. Then he's got some flippers out the back. And one on this side. There we go. And then he also has some little patterns on his other flipper. Now children, once you've done that, keep it aside. What you're going to do next is you're going to make a page full of the sea. Now, similar to when we did the world, we're going to use the sponge, but this time we're not going to do dabbing. We're going to make wavy effects with our sponge to make it look like it's under the sea. And you can wiggle your sponge across. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it's just your same sponge with a peg stuck on the end to help you to hold it. There we go. And then I'm going to take a bit of the blue. It's important to wet your paint. You can use watercolor paints or runny paints for this. And there we go. I'm doing the green and the blue over each other because when we make the sea, it's got greeny, bluey colors in it. And I'm wiggling and wiggling it across to make a sea technique with my wiggly sponge. And then I'm also going to add a bit of white. Remember, if you don't have a lot of sponge, you can just wash your sponge and then carry on. You don't have to have lots of different sponges. Here we go for my sea. Bit more white, and then you can let that dry a bit. Put it in a lovely sunny spot. There's my underwater, this sea. Then, children, I've got a pair of scissors here. Now, you're going to cut out your beautiful sea creature carefully around where you have drawn it on the newspaper. You can just shadow cut it so that you can still see the black lines. Now, if you decided to draw in pencil first, that's absolutely fine. But then please get a black crayon or a black Koki and go over the pencil lines so that you can see the outline of your beautiful sea creature that you've made. And then, once you've cut the whole creature out, carefully as you can, and I want to see your beautiful cutting. Once you've cut it out, you're going to put some glue at the back, and then you're going to paste it onto your lovely, lovely sea page that you've made with your sponge technique. Oh, I forgot to tell you, children, if you don't have your sponges anymore from last week, you can also do wiggly lines that make up the water of the ocean or the sea using a paintbrush. You can use a brush to do it as well. It's up to you. It goes quite quickly with a sponge, but you can use a brush. Right, once that's done, then I'm going to get some glue and I'm going to put glue at the back and I'm going to then stick it down on the ocean. Beautifully like that. And there is my beautiful turtle swimming along in the sea. And what you can do now is once it's all dry and all done, you can take a photograph of your beautiful sea creature. I can't wait to see which one you choose to draw. And then you're going to post it on Seesaw for me. Have fun and enjoy that.